So if your network marketing business, if it's stuck in a rut, maybe some of you, it's true, I know, stay a moment because I was there too. And if you're thinking, how many of you have ever thought, maybe I really can't do this, or it's just so yucky, I don't even want to do it? Before you quit, here's what I did, because I was in that same situation. We know, you all know, right, that there are people in the network marketing industry. There are like several thousands of companies, according to Direct Selling Association. And there are people in those companies that have like 1 million people in their organization or 100,000 people. That is a lot of people. The top guy in the with the product line that we're helping promote right now has, I don't know, I think he does have 1 million people. And he says they get 6,500 new people in his business every week. That's like a lot of people who are ordering every month. So we know that the model works around the world, right? So they are impacting all those lives with their products, whatever the products are doing, whether it's pain relief without drugs, whether it's getting your hair back, your energy back, whatever it is that the products and services are doing, they're impacting all these lives every day and earning giant checks from all those orders every month, just like internet companies and cable companies do. If you have cable, you're going to pay every month. Why? Because they serve up stuff. They have clients who pay every month. The same with internet. You all have internet, right? Yes? Who's all got internet? Tell me, yes, you got internet. Those companies are raking it in every single month, and that's what they do. So what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing that they're doing? Because remember, we want to build a big, giant distribution network. Can you picture it? Of hundreds and thousands of people all over the world, wherever your company operates, using and consuming one way or another the products that you've got. And then, of course, to have a few people that are marketing as well. You good with that? So here's what I'm going to show you right now. If you want to know exactly what to say, so that people who are looking for what you have, specifically your solution, they go me, if that's what you want. And if you want to position yourself so that other people see you with respect as a knowledgeable advisor instead of a product pusher, who here wants that? If you want to feel total confidence that you have a clear path to owning a big distribution network of people that love and buy your products every day. Yeah, I don't know if some of you may or may not know this, but for Tesla, a lot of people think they're just a car company. Oh no, they're not. They're an energy creation and energy storage company. And the big thing is they have a giant network of charging stations all over the world. And General Motors and Ford have just signed on. So all the people who buy General Motors electric vehicles and Ford electric vehicles will all be using Tesla's charging stations. And that is daily, hourly income for Tesla, billions of dollars. Has nothing to do with selling their cars. Do you see why it's so important to have a big, giant distribution network of people that are using your product on a regular basis, right? We got that? Okay. I'm just checking that you have it. Okay. If you never want to feel like you're begging and chasing, are there people here who feel like you've been begging and chasing? If you're worried you're going to lose your friends, if you call your auntie one more time, she's going to not invite you for Christmas dinner. No more feeling like I'm the only one who can't do this. A lot of people think you're the only one. I'll tell you, there are very few people who pull this off right, because of the world has changed. People have changed. We're not the same as we were 30 years ago. And you gotta, our attention span has been reduced even more than it already was 10, 15 years ago. And if you don't know how to position yourself so that you're in the way of people that are looking specifically to solve the problem that you can solve, you might be 30 years before you get where you want to go. Who wants fast? Money loves speed, right? So does impact. So on this demo, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to show you how to never, ever lead the conversation or the text with information about the product, the company, or the science. Have you got this? Say yes. Yo. Okay. You see that? Okay. Just checking on you. How to position yourself first So you never waste time with non-buyers. And I don't mean going to everybody and saying, hey, do you have any aches and pains? Hey, do you need money? Hey, are you looking for new relationship? Hey, no. You're not going to do that. And then I want to tell you why the network marketing, the real reason that it is so difficult for so many people, including former top sales reps for big companies like IBM. I want you to be aware of how things are instead of thinking all sugar-coaty, anybody can do this. If any of you look at the pay plan and the footnotes in your company, your company's required to tell you and anyone who wants to look how many people have reached which ranks and what the average income is at those ranks. And it is pitiful, just pitiful. Pitiful. Years ago, we asked Amazon what their average income was this was like 15 years ago. And it was $65 per year. So when you go to the meetings, we all go to the meetings, right? Who doesn't go to the meetings? Like, oh, look at that, making, $100,000 last month or $50,000 last month or $10,000. And you go, my God, what is wrong with me? And all the people making the big money all have a history and a story that you don't really know about. So if you're just getting started, your goal is going to be to create and develop a story. Who's up for that? Developing and creating your own story so that one day when you're up there, you'll be able to tell, this is how I achieved this. You see? So don't be mad when they're making all this money and you're making a pittance. Remember, they have a story. It's like you go to the park and you play tennis and Jimmy Connors is there. He's, used to be the Wimbledon #1 and he's probably 50 years old now, maybe older, but he would whoop you so bad you would think that you never even held a tennis racket in your hand. And you go, oh my God, I must be aging. I mean, I feel like a complete cripple. And then he tells you, oh, I used to be the #1 in the world, right? It's the same. When somebody sits down to play the piano and they play Moonlight Sonata perfectly, they just didn't wake up and start yesterday. Are you aware of that? Let me see a yes. All right. But that's not the reason the business is so difficult for people. I just want you to know that most people who do this to earn income do not earn the income because they're being taught totally, completely the wrong way, based on what I see and what we've done. So I'm going to teach you something totally crazy, wacky new. Okay. Let me tell you one thing right now. The answer to whatever your issues are in your business, unless you're not talking to anybody, the answer is not talk to more people. Okay. That is not the answer. And if some of you are about ClickFunnels, my old friend Russell Brunson, he's been a fan for a long time. And if you can use ClickFunnels, but if you don't know the same, I'm going to teach you today, buying ClickFunnels, buying any type of service like that, software that helps you set up your thank you page and your sales letter and your opt-in page, and even learn how to write an ad, whether you do it organically on Facebook or pay money. If you don't know this one thing, that whole thing will be a complete waste of money, total complete waste of money. Okay, just so you know. So we use this one thing I'm going to teach you right now to build 6 companies to the top. Okay. So why you want to listen to me about this? Well, I had the same issues years ago, when I first got started. First, nobody signed up. Then people dropped out faster than we could put them in. So then we followed the party line. I mean, we're very good students. I'm a Harvard person and an MIT person and Stanford person, and they teach you, here's what to do. And you go, okay. And until you know the basics, you don't mess around, because what are you going to mess around? You don't know anything. So we followed the party line initially. Everyone will want this. Share with anyone who can fog a mirror. Treat everyone as if they're your prospect. Talk to more people, and we often talk to 100 people, 200 people per day. How many people are familiar with any of this? Let me see in the chat here. Tell me yes, you got it. Right? Jimmy is 70 now. Really, totally, so cool. All right. So I told my upline this. I said, I signed up all these people and they all came in with a $5,000 water filter order. I did the water filter company when I first got started. It was my first time. And you know what she says? Oh, Kim, that's normal. Most everybody quits. They all drop out. I said, really? I was just dumbstruck. Why would anybody be in a business where most everybody drops out? I mean, I told her, I hate to tell you, but I'll probably quit too. because I had a real estate business and none of my agents had ever dropped out. And real estate's very much like network marketing. You use, if you can be an agent, the realtor, or you can be the broker. And if you're the broker, then you find agents and they're all volunteers. And nobody makes any money until they make a deal. You either list a property or you find a buyer or a tenant for a property. And so it's kind of like network marketing. Do you all see how that works? There is no money coming to an agent unless the person makes a deal. Yeah, they get to put a buyer and a seller together, or a buyer and a tenant together. Have we got that? Say yes, you got it. Yeah, let's see, we got it. Yep. Okay, cool. All right, so that's what we're doing. So, says my upline, she's very smart, She says, okay, so before you quit, why don't you try something? Would you try one thing before you quit? It's the same thing I'm going to tell you today, right now, before you quit. And I said, okay, what? And she says, recruit your next reps the same way that you recruit your real estate agents. Will you do that? And I thought, okay, I could try to do that. And that's what I did. And at that time, we were running newspaper ads in the classified section. So I ran more newspaper ads in the classified section for reps. And I checked the ads that I ran for my real estate people. And I checked the ads that I had run for the network marketing for my water filter reps. And they were like night and day. One day I'll give a session about that. But the point is that I changed the ads that I wrote to do this one thing that I'm going to teach you here. And 4 months later, so I made my ads for the reps for my water filter business look and feel like the ads for my real estate agents. Does everybody get that? And make sure that are you awake? You got that? Tell me, yes, you got it. You got it. Okay, cool. Got it. And so 4 months later, 4 or 5 months later, after we ran tests in the newspapers every single weekend, and then to see what we would get, who would respond, and then we would go through the interview process and do all of that. Okay. So 4 months later, the company invited me to come to the convention, their national convention, and present over there, because they said, you have achieved the top rank in the company, executive, whatever it was, I can't remember, national marketing director, but the executive inner circle committee, faster than anybody else has ever done in the history at that time, their 25-year history. That's what happened. And that's something. I mean, I was really surprised that they invited me. I had no idea that what I had done was to them such a big deal. So that's what I did. And one of the things that I was going to give you some of the shots of the top positions, but I didn't have a chance to find them before I moved. So I wanted to tell you just 2 things that are helpful for you to know. That as far as I know, I am the only person who has built multiple companies that has figured out a way to screen people before I ever present anything to them. And we've developed an automated system to qualify people to do that. It's automated. The whole thing's automated because we did it by hand for so many years. So there's that. And then the second thing over here I wanted to mention to you is that one of my first tapes is So You Want to Be a Networker, that we did in the 1990s. So I have been around for quite a few years, and I just wanted you to know that all of this stuff I'm telling you now comes from many years of trial and error, many times thinking, why am I even in this industry? And many times thinking this is the best business model if they just taught it properly today, in today's world, that I know of, which I still believe. Okay. So here's what I did. We've used this exact process to build 6 different companies to the top, and we're working on the 7th one right now. I'm going to show you in 4 steps. Are you ready? We call this, by the way, the new network marketing. The new network marketing, like, new math, except it works. So before I show you, let me ask you this. How committed are you to becoming more successful and more profitable in your network marketing business? Now, here's what I want you to tell me. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 is not that much, okay? And 10 is, oh my God, yes, I want to commit. Okay, you see that there in the chat? It's in the chat as well as being right here. I mean, it's one is that, yeah, well, if I have time, I will. If it's not too hard, if it's not inconveniencing me in any way. And it's totally fine. If you have other priorities, that's the way it is. Just don't get mad that you're not making any money on something you don't spend time on. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, it doesn't matter. Second, yes, I want to, but I don't have anyone to talk to. I really can't sell. It's yes, sure, but blah, blah. Okay, there's that. And that's okay too. I just want to know where you are. And then there's the 10. It's like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to become successful yesterday because I really love what I'm doing. I love this model. What do I need to do? Let me see where you are. Put the numbers in the little chat, can you? Are you a 1, a 5, a 10? Martin, oh, we love you. You're number 11. All right, now remember, wanting and doing are two different things. So make sure that you're not number 5. Yeah, I really, oh yeah, I really want it, but this, but I don't have time, but my wife, but this, when it's, I want this, but you're not going to do anything. It's just the way it is. So don't get upset about how it is. But if it's like, I will do whatever, tell me now what to do, and I will give you an action plan at the end of this. And some of you are going to have me follow up with, with your action plan so that you can make it happen. Because, I hate to say it, but talk's cheap, isn't it? Talk's cheap. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. The 4 steps. Who's ready for the 4 steps? Let me see. Who wants to see the 4 steps? See my 4 steps. Hey, Latoya, good to see you, lady. Yep, here we go. Okay. I want to warn you, none of these steps, none of these is taught in the industry. None, not even one. We did them all without permission, and we developed them over quite a few years, as I mentioned before. And what happened with us is we didn't tell people what we were doing. We didn't ask for permission. We just did it. See, we just did it. That's kind of the way we were. Why? Because if you ask permission of your upline, many of whom are very traditional, and you say, well, I want to do leads. We used to say that. We want to run ads. Oh, no, don't run ads. No, you don't make any money running ads. We want to do leads. No, don't do that. Nobody. So we decided, we'll just do what we're going to do. And then we will see what happens. And if it works, I'm sure it'll be good. And if it doesn't work, we'll keep testing, because that's really how things work. Elon Musk didn't put the rocket up the first time perfectly. Look at NASA. They blew up 2 with the Challenger and 1 other, with all the people in it dying. The Columbia, I think, is the other one. So don't think the process is without giant, painful lumps. All learning is a lumpy process. Bump, boom, bump, boom, ow, ow. And you go because you want to see how far you can get and how close you can get to helping those people that are out there waiting for you. You just don't know quite how to get to them. So you're learning what's called marketing. So we did this, and the volume came in that the upline called and said, well, what are you doing? And then they said, we have the person on the phone with us who is running the national convention, and they want to know if you'll come and speak and tell us what you did. You see, if you ask permission, they'll say no, if it's not anything they're used to. Even the people who have made no money will say, no, you're not supposed to do leads. It's not duplicable. I'm here to tell you, so what? Nothing that succeeds is duplicable. The behavior of the people, your personality, your contact, your experience, your drive, your love for what you're doing, none of that is duplicable. Everybody brings their own. Duplication refers to the system, the pay plan that you've got. So if you have a binary, if you want to get paid, you need to put certain people who order into a certain position on the binary in order to get paid. And no matter who does that, whether you're black or white, fat or skinny, 3 years old or 103 years old, if you fill up those circles with people who pay, make the orders, and do the BV or PV that they need, they will all get paid exactly the same amount of money. Is that clear to everybody? You see how that works? But in terms of how you do it, how do you bring the people? How do you recruit them? How do you talk to them? What is the sequence? How do you do what you do? That is never duplicable. So doing leads, people say, well, it's not duplicable. And I would say, who cares? I'm not asking anybody else to do it. I'm going to do it. Oh, well, I want to run ads. Well, ads don't work. Well, what do you care? I'm going to try it. And I just stopped telling them what I was going to do because they all said no. Just talk to people, talk to more people, talk to anything that moves. It's like, okay, we're not going to tell anybody anything. We just do it. And then if it works, guess what? They call and say, what have you been doing? This will be the same. I promise you, they'll say, what are you doing? How's it work? How are you getting all that volume? Are you with me? These are the 4 steps we did where he talked about being everything totally different from what was done before. Remember? The scale of 1 to 10, you guys, you did the 1 to 10. So let's start right here. All right. Nothing is taught in the industry. We did it without permission, totally without permission. And when the volume started pouring in, because we signed up so many people, they say, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? We want to know all about it and come to the convention. So are you good with that? Are you good with doing things without telling people that you're doing it? Just try it and see what happens. Let me see who says yes. So stop asking for permission. Remember, you're independent contractors. The whole industry does pretty much everything the same way, whether it's on social media, when you're talking to people, their whole thing is talk to everyone. Everyone will want this. Everyone should want this. And so you just keep talking to enough people and keep believing and keep doing it until you make it. This is so wrong. It is not how you build fast, not in today's world. I'll tell you that. So do it and keep quiet. Have we got a yay? Amen. Yeah, that old way doesn't. Why do you think the dropout rate is over 100%? 108%. Neil often said that. He was the CEO of Direct Selling Association. And the reason he said that is because so many people drop out of 2 or 3 or 4 different companies. So the number of dropouts, the incidence of dropping out was more than 100% because so many people dropped out of 2 or 3 or 4 deals. Okay. So that's really what's going on. You need to be aware. You know, these people tell stories of the few successes. And it's true that in most marketing and sales businesses, a lot of people don't make it. But if you deny that, like they do in our industry, like just point to the 3 people that have made it, then what happens is nobody changes how they do it or what they do because they think it must be me. And that is why I'm so against the way it's traditionally taught. It almost makes you fail. It's not talking to more people. That is not the answer. I will show you what is the answer. Okay, right here. So instead of leading with the one, this is secret number 1. We had 4 steps. Okay. Yeah, well, you're asking for rejection because you don't know anything about the people. Totally, absolutely. Okay, number 1. Instead of leading with the wonders of the product, we've got X34 and oh my God, it works at the DNA level and at the cellular level and the technobabble. You lead with a specific problem that your product has helped you with. Who has a problem that they have worked to solve to some degree with what they market? Say me, if you have had a problem that you have had solved or at least improved. Because if you haven't had that, you want to market something that has worked for you to some degree, or you made a little bit better. Okay. Good. Got it. All right, good. So when you introduce your thing, okay, the first words we use in the new network marketing is not about the company. It's not about the product. It's not about the science. We got this? There's no talk about the thing that we have to offer. Crazy, right? So why would anybody want to describe a problem instead of the product? So we lead with the problem, not the product. Does that make sense? First thing, we lead with the problem, not the product. Okay. Why? Why do we do that? Have you noticed the glazed eyes when you start all the technobabble about the X this and the DNA that and the cellular level this and that and Dr. Dingaling this and that and the other? Have you noticed how everybody's eyes kind of glaze over when you start the technobabble? Yes? You tell me in the chat. Let me know you're awake. Okay? And we don't want that. Humans are not, when you go online on Facebook, are you looking for jargon and words that you don't understand? Oh, X35 or we have carbon filter instead of granular filter and block filter. And it's this type of pharmaceutical X35 or Z6 or that. Do you go scanning for that stuff? Or do you go scanning for, oh, I lost 4 dress sizes in 6 weeks just in time for my niece's wedding, and I didn't have to eat rabbit food. ... If you're looking to lose, wouldn't you click on that? Who's with me? Let me see who's with me. Who gets this? Yeah. So what are you doing all this other stuff for? That's what they teach, right? Oh my, not a good thing. Okay, let me do this here. All right, so what do you and I both do? We be constantly looking to solve our problems, whether we're bored. The scrolling itself is a fix for boredom, or you have to get away from your aunt or your hubby or your students or your teachers, and you go scrolling, right? Looking for the news, whatever it is you're doing. So what happens? You have specific problems like I'm hungry. I have a toothache, right? And so I have to fit into my skinny jeans before my high school reunion in 6 weeks. Okay. I have to start some kind of side hustle because I'm out of a job in 90 days. You see how that works? All right. So we decide when we want something enough, we look for a way to get it. Okay. Now this next slide, I had created it to show you full screen how it works, but it looks to me like that is not working on this screen share. Let me just try. So I'm going to show you how to read it. You'll see a lot of print, but don't freak out. It was not designed to be shown in the way it's going to appear. You start at the top left and then we'll go to the right. Are you ready with that? Are you all awake for that? Yeah. Let me see if you are good with that. Yeah. Yeah, we're focused on our problem. Exactly. Exactly. All right, top left. So you have a specific top left, just top left. Look at the top left corner, okay? You have a problem. I'm hungry or I have a toothache. Look on the right. You see, order food, make appointment with dentist. Are you with me? Say yes. Okay, go back to the left. Second time. The second group here, the bold. I've got to fit into my skinny jeans before my high school reunion in 6 weeks. Look on the right. What do? You search for a fitness or weight loss program. You see that? Left on the very bottom, I have to start some kind of side hustle because I'm out of a job. What do? On the right? You check out side hustles and make sure that y'all are with me. You good with that? Okay, cool. Does anyone seek out, information on what the toothpaste tube is made out of? Does anybody look for that? It's like, no, is it, toothpaste for somebody who's health nut or whatever? When a person is actively seeking a fix of some kind for a problem that they have got, whatever that problem is, wouldn't you want to be in the path of that person who is seeking if it happens that the problem that they have is the one that you fixed for yourself? Yes or no? Right? Is that what you would want? Because they're all looking for a specific problem to fix something very specific. And so if you are there because that is the problem you fixed for yourself, what if you were the speed bump? That's right there, right? So you want to be, yep, this is the next slide. You want to be the speed bump when they're cruising along looking for a way. Let's say there are many people who have aches and pains every day. And some of those people got on pain meds. They thought they'd try them. And now they're sorry that they ever got on the pain meds because they can't get off. And their organs are beginning to have trouble, right? In their memory and their clarity, they don't have it anymore. So they're looking for a way, what are the alternatives where I can still get rid of the aches and pains, but I don't have the side effects of the drugs? There are millions of people online looking for this type of a thing. Do you see that? That is a problem they're trying to solve. And so if you have something that says, we know 1 in 3 adults are, have aches and pains and are on daily meds for aches and pains. And we know many of those people want to get off. If you're one of them, click here. You see how that matches what a person might be looking for? Tell me, yes, you got this. Yeah, you see, you want to be in the line of traffic. You want to be the speed bump where they go, oh, let me see how that works. Oh, yeah. We can see how that works, right? Okay. So the thing is, anyone who is looking for a fix for a problem that you have fixed for yourself, that's who you can help. And you may think, oh, but there's so many other problems my products can fix. If you're just looking for the first 100 customers in the next, say, 2 months, and that is all you focus on, you'll fill up your pipeline completely and totally. And if you've got more than one problem that you solve, let's say that your products, I know we used to have fruits and veggies in capsules, and some people would have the problem of they weren't constipated anymore. The problem was they went once a week. And that was, they were getting sick and fat and, feel stuck. And that was one thing that this product helped with, right? To become regular like that. And then there are other people with the same product that put it into their bodies, and their alarm, they didn't need their alarm clock anymore. They suddenly stopped waking up all by themselves. They just woke up by themselves. And other people said, oh, I have all this energy back. So the same product can have very different effects on different people, because the bodies, the condition of the bodies of people is so different. Some people have filled their body with crap food for years. Other people are pretty healthy, right? Some people never exercise. Some people do. Some people have all these other conditions, cancer and diabetes, and right. So the key is you do one at a time. It's like when you get dressed. I have this shirt. I like to wear this one a lot. But I only wear one shirt. I have other shirts. I only wear one at a time. This is it today. I don't put on all the shirts in my closet. You see how that works? And you don't want to do that either. You want to be, when you're out there, it's one thing at a time, and make sure that it's something that you're into so that you know how to do it. Like doctors, right? They're heart doctors. We call them Dr. Fix My Heart. If you are worried that your ticker is going, you're going to be looking for a Dr. Fix My Heart, because you're not quite ready to die. You're not going to go to an eye person. You're not going to go to a hair person. You're not going to an internist. You're not going to go to a podiatrist or pediatrician. You're not doing any of that. You say, I want a Dr. Fix My Heart. That guy, I want that one. And if there's somebody saying, my name is Dr. Fix Your Heart, I fix my heart. And if you're worried your heart's giving out and you don't want to die by mistake, here, click here. Quick online checkup. You see? One thing. All right. So if you're positioned right, if you've positioned yourself properly, they'll bump right into you. See how that works? Who's got it? Tell me yes, you got it. Okay, cool. Wouldn't you likely get more customers faster? Tell me yes. Yes or no? Was that a yes? Okay, cool. All right, we're good to go. All right. So here's how you do this. If you can remember a problem you had before you tried your program or your product or your service, whatever you've got. You want a problem that you had before you started that went away after using the product. Now, some of you are going to go, yeah. Let's see, Bill Blanton, have I got your stuff? Yeah, so you have that, right? You tried a program and it went away after using the product, or it went away somewhat. Now, some of you are going to go, well, I came in because I wanted to make money. Great. Hopefully you got on the product or products or whatever they've got, and something made a difference for you. Because if you're selling something and it made no difference for you whatsoever, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be genuine, because you won't be able to say, well, here's what happened to me. You'll have nothing to say there. People who sell stuff that they have no connection to, it's much harder to do it. It can be done, but it's way, way, way harder. You see that? Okay. All right. So here's an example. What's a problem you had before you tried your program? And you want to be real specific. I'll give you some. I have a class to offer, a small mini course to show you how to do this, but I want to give you some examples. Okay. So before, it's called your before and after. Okay. So we go, before, people would run when they saw me coming. Got it? I couldn't sleep through the night for years. Really? Yeah. That's another one. I couldn't lose that last 20 pounds no matter what I tried. Who sees? Can you see that? That is a problem. Those are all problems. Okay. So how to describe your old problem? Go back in time when you still had it. In the Orange Book, it's called the Remembering Room. And then I tried this product for 3 weeks or a month or 6 weeks, or maybe sometimes a year. And it pretty much went away after using the product, or it went down 50%. Or I had 100 pounds to lose and I lost 35 in the first 2 months already. You see that? Okay, so here's some examples. For the last 5 years, I couldn't sleep through the night, or I struggled to lose that last 20 pounds for 4 years, or I drove people away from my business with the words I used. Those are all problems. You got that? That's one way to phrase all of them. Can you do that? Let me see. How many of you can do that? Especially if I give you a little guidance, right? Imagine this. Picture you putting it out there that you have finally discovered a way to sleep through the night. Let me know immediately if you can't see it, okay? Can't see it, okay. Next. Might someone who cannot sleep through the night want to know what you have, yes or no? Answer yes or no, yes or no. Let me see. Callie, yes or no? Martin, yes or no? Robert, yes or no? You're putting it out there. You finally discovered a way to sleep through the night, a new way to sleep through the night. Might somebody who cannot sleep through the night want to know what you have? Picture you put out a story about a mom who finally lost that, what did she lose? Her last 20 pounds? Yeah, it's so hard to lose. Might a mom who has been struggling to lose that last 20 pounds want to know what you have? Yes or no? Can you all still see the slides? I found a new way to help network marketers. Let's say you say this. If you have found a new way to help network marketers attract buyers, okay? Might MLMers who scare buyers off with their words want to know what you have? Yes or no? So if you learn how to describe a specific painful problem that you had, and you offer a mysterious way to fix it, don't tell what it is, like you fixed it for yourself, a new way, a different way, right? Then you will attract potential customers who have been looking to fix that thing too. My question is, do you believe that? Yes or no? Yes or no? So it's like you're now the speed bump that they pause for while they're searching for a fix to their specific problem. Everybody got that? Okay, so let's go through the rest of these fast. So the question, if you learn how to describe the problem that you solve for yourself on Facebook or on Instagram, wherever you work, so that those who still have it can contact you to get help and you maybe get another customer. Do you believe that? Do you believe that that would be a way to really grow your customer base fast instead of talking to 100 people about whom you know exactly nothing? Right? Me here. Okay, cool. We got it. All right, step 2. Describe the scary consequences. And this is really something that nobody talks about, but boy, oh boy, is it ever good. Describing the scary consequences of what happens if they don't fix it. See? So it's like somebody says, well, what's the problem? Well, gasoline is expensive. Let's say they said that. So we had that last week. Where he says, well, gasoline is expensive. And I said, well, like, so what? So it's expensive. So what? And they go, well, I don't know. So, well, if you don't have a consequence, what does it matter that gasoline's expensive? It's like saying, you know, I'm overweight, say, but you don't do anything about it. Or you say, you know, I should stop drinking, but you don't. Or I should go to bed on time, but I don't. Right? So we have what we call venting, our vent list, what we complain and whine about and vent about versus things that we want to change. So there was a guy that had worked for me doing other things. And he told me, he said, you know, gasoline's really expensive. And I said, really? So, and, you know, I was waiting for the rest of it. And he says, well, I may have to quit my job because of the price of gas. Now, do you see how that suddenly makes the price of gas very important with consequences? So I said, why would you have to quit your job? And he says, well, I'm working at a game store and they pay me like, he said, it's an old friend, so I help him and I'm into computer games. So they pay him $10 or $12 an hour. And he said, it's 78 miles from my house. So by the time I fill up and get there and come back with the price of gas, I can't afford the job. Do you see that? When you describe a product that you have, let's say you have a gas additive, that some people sell that stuff. And if you say gas is expensive, most people will go, so what? But here's a guy, the gas is so expensive, he had to quit his job. You know, click here to read the rest of his story. Well, It costs $4 a gallon and it's 78 miles and blah, blah, blah. And the consequences makes a person read that story and think, that's pretty bad. Maybe I should check out this additive and make my gas cheaper, even if it isn't their story. You see, all these things matter. Okay, here comes a page with a big list. So just do it at the top. Why we love this. I'll read it to you because it's hard to read all this stuff together and it wasn't intended to be like that. Scary, painful consequences move people off the dime. Like, oh, they said I need a knee replacement for the pain. I'll try anything to avoid that. What do you have? What's the consequence? Oh my God, I don't want to have knee replacement. Never, never, never. What do you have? My husband said he'd leave me if I don't lose the 90 pounds by Christmas. I can't live without him. What do you offer? See, it's not just I'm overweight. He said, I'm leaving you if you don't get rid of that by Christmas. And I can't have that. I need to have him. I can't live without him. So what have you got? Are you seeing how this works? My retirement was cut in half. And if I don't supplement it somehow, I'm going to have to go live in the basement of my son's home. I would die first. What do you have? How many people see how this works? These are consequences that move people off the dime. You got to learn how to do them, or otherwise you're not going to make sales. So they're overweight. So what? So you don't have enough money. So what? What else is new? People complain about that day and night, right? So you have to put in these scary consequences if you want people to buy urgently, like right now. Why? Because it's the consequences they're afraid of. Nobody really wants our product. They want what it does. And why they want it and how soon depends on how well you paint a picture of the consequences if they don't fix it. You got to learn how to do that. It's very critical for urgency. We want to make some money by December, we said. Got to do something an hour and a half every day. This is one of the key things you have to learn to do, right? We'll show you how to do it. So that's what makes people get off the dime, those consequences. But here's one. Use this structure. I knew that if I didn't do something about this problem, this is what you do for yourself, right? To give you an idea. This terrible thing might happen to me or to my loved one. If I can't make the pain go away, they said I need a knee replacement and it's against my religion, so I have to find something. Or I'm going to lose my husband if I don't lose these 90 pounds by Christmas. I can't live without him, so it's now or never. What do you have? Why is she losing weight? Because she's overweight? No. She's not looking to lose weight because she's 90 pounds overweight. Why is she looking to lose weight? Really? Why now? Who can tell me? Why? Why now? What's the consequence if she doesn't do it? Tell me. Somebody tell me here. Tell me you're awake. Yoo-hoo. Anybody know? Somebody know. I know you know. Yeah, if she doesn't lose the weight, she's going to lose her husband and be by herself. That is why. You see? So it's not about losing the weight. It's about losing the husband. This is where you get power beyond belief when you learn how to do this. We're going to show you how to do this. Okay. So let me ask you this. Will you commit to learning how to describe the scary consequences that happen to you if you don't fix the problem? Will you learn to do that? Tell me yes. So that when you put that out there, you attract those people who are scared of, because they'll think of their own bad consequences. Don't you worry. Everybody has problems in their life and consequences. Okay. All right. It's next to the last one. You want to reveal what is special about your thing, and no, it is never the science. Even though the science may make it different, that is not what sells. So that's not what you're going to do. Okay. You may think it's a science, but I'm here to tell you it's not. It's not going to do that. That's not it. You want the special sauce. Let me give you some examples. If somebody's urgently seeking a fix for, say, weight or growing their hair or skin or energy or more income, if they're urgently seeking, right? Because if they don't, they're going to have to go live in their son's basement, right? They don't want to do that. You can assume that those people will have already looked around. They'll have tried stuff already, see? So they've tried the regular stuff. You must assume that we are an option. What I'm teaching you, there are other people who teach the same old. Every other person in the industry teaches the same old. Talk to more people, and here's how to get them, and here's how to do it. But you can do that if you want. It's not like nobody makes it that way. It's just 100,000 times harder, especially in today's world where everybody is selling something to stay alive. All kinds of stuff. But the problem, so when you pose a problem properly, there's no stopping you. So, but people will have tried stuff. So you need to know how you stand out. How does your product stand out? How is it different from what they've likely looked at? Okay. So you could say, you need to be able to say things like, what's different about this way of losing that we did is that it does blah, 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 blah. Or you don't have to blah, 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 some yucky thing. Like with this thing, you don't have to eat rabbit food. With this thing, you don't have to go to the gym 5 times a week. Do you see that? Because many weight programs have you go to the gym. Many hair programs, do other things. There's always something in whatever you're marketing has a philosophy behind it, usually. It's you don't eat rabbit food, or you don't have to starve, or you don't have to go to the gym. There's always something to do. And whatever is not required is what you can make public enemy number one. Like there's always a battle between where do abs begin, in the kitchen or in the gym? And many people believe abs begin in the kitchen, not the gym. Other people fight tooth and nail and say, no, it doesn't, begin in the kitchen. So they'll say, here's how to lose weight without having to change what you eat. See that? That's going to be a workout program or an intermittent fasting type program, because you don't change what you eat, change when you eat. And even if you've never done this before, it works if you do it like this. You need to be able to say those things. Does that make sense? So you get this benefit, like lose 2 dress sizes by Christmas, even if you have been overweight your whole life, or without having to eat rabbit food or go to the gym. Tell me you've got it. We're almost done. The last one's coming up. Got it? Yeah. Okay, so now this one. Lose the 20 pounds in 5 weeks without having to exercise madly at the gym. Get new customers every day, even if you've never done that before. Without having to yucky thing, even if you've never done this or that before. Sleep through the night again without risky meds or even any pills at all. Okay, we got our thingies here. Got it? Okay, cool. All right, on to the last one. So let me ask you this. Do you believe here, and just ask yourself, do you believe that if you learn how to point out a unique thing about your approach, usually something yucky that they don't want to do, that you will, and show that you were able to fix the problem for yourself? Remember that? That's how you know it works. Why? I did it for me. How do you know why can I tell you all this? We teach this around the world, 24/7. Why? Because it worked for us 6 different times, 7 different. We also have a high ticket consulting program. People pay 10, 15, 20,000 bucks. We use exactly the same approach. If this is the problem you want to solve, here's a way to solve it. That's what we do. So whether it's $100 or whether it's $15,000 or $18,000, this is how we've done it all these years. The best marketers in the world do this. The reason network marketers don't do it is because for years, the whole focus of the industry in the 50s and 60s and 70s was how to get 5 people to buy product, and get a discount. Nobody thought about making 10 grand a month in the first place. They said, if you get 3 friends to buy, we all get a discount. We get 5 friends to buy, we all get a discount. It's very popular. It was really to get the product on the house. It wasn't to make $10,000 a month. So now that people are looking to make 5 grand, 10 grand, 3 grand, 30 grand a month, because people have done that because they've built such big networks, right? And they're little heaps all the way down. People get 3, get 5, and you have all this giant organization of people, of whom the person at the top probably personally sponsored a couple hundred people, sometimes 500. But if you have 100,000 people, those people were all brought in by all the others. Especially if you have a good product, you see. So you will attract more people who've been looking to fix that thing. What do you say? Yes or no? Yes or no? Got it? So will you learn to describe the special sauce to people who still have the problem, so you can help enroll those people into your program and help them out? I hear a yes. Okay. The last one is the silver tongue secret. This is the gift of gab. Some people are really good at talking to people in a way that will impress them or persuade them. And some people think you're born with that. And I don't know if you're born with it or not, but I can tell you that you can develop it. And it is the weirdest thing in the world how you can develop a silver tongue where you have, they think you've got the gift of gab. They think you're talking just to them. And they're going, oh, I want to know all about it. And here's how you do that. We found that we could develop this with our people in our organization by listening to the questions and objections that people had who were not the right people for our product. So for example, let's say we're selling, what's his name? Who's the golfer, you know, the number one golfer in the world for a long time. I can't remember his name now. Who's the top golfer? You know, the good looking guy who got in all kinds of trouble because he had trouble with his wife and all this stuff. I can't remember. Tiger Woods, that's what it was. Okay. So if he were coming to town, I wouldn't get up to go. Why? Because I don't care about golf. It's not my thing. But if somebody were hot in tennis and they were coming, I'd be all over that. I'd get up early and go. So it doesn't really matter. Objections are really, people will give them to you if they're really not the right one for whatever reason. And we don't answer any objections. I mean, when people say, well, I think it's too expensive, we know we're talking to the wrong person. And we say, you know, okay, so, you know, we probably shouldn't have called you because we should have, and I'm going to show you how to overcome that right now. So an objection, we just let it all go. I've never pursued anybody. We just don't have time because we are scoring so much on getting the right ones for the speed bump for so many people who want exactly to solve the problem that we solve, that we don't have time for anybody else. Do you believe that? It's like, oh yeah, Tiger Woods, you got him. You guys are good, good, good. All right, so here's how you do that. Here's how we discovered it. I mean, you say this is not something that we were born with. We made Aunt Lulu an offer for a skincare product. Say, hey, Aunt Lulu, we got this great thing, you know, the old way. You're going to love it. You want to try it? Oh, yeah, I want to try it. So she tries it and we give her a little, long time ago, gave her a little sample. We don't do any samples anymore, but in this way. But she tried it and it's just Aunt Lulu, right? What are you going to say about her? So she tries it and she likes it. But then she came back and we said, oh, okay, great. You know, you're ready to buy it, right? And she goes, oh, it's too expensive. It's like, what? You said you liked it. So what do you mean it's too expensive? I mean, you know, you said you liked it and it's like, oh, it's too expensive. So here's what happened. Again, start at the top, okay, because this was meant to be given to you a line at a time. So she says, so we said, okay, so do you use skincare? Do you use skin cream yourself? And she goes, yes, I use Pond's. Next line. Oh, okay. How much is that? Oh, she says about $6 per jar. And one jar lasts me about 2 months. So our skin cream is $85 per month. Do you see the mismatch? Who's got this here? Tell me in the chat you got it. You see it? Right? So her response of too expensive led us to our silver tongue approach for the next time we offered that product. Who wants to know what we said? And we never heard it's too expensive again. Never. Who wants to know? Let me see if anybody wants to know. Then we're done. Come on, you guys. Let's see. Oh. Okay, here's what we did. The next time we described the product, it said this is a unique skincare regime or strange skincare regime for somebody who's always obsessing about their face and how it looks, who loves regular facials, who's always trying ways to look younger and more radiant. See that? We never heard it's too expensive again. Never. That's how you do it. This transition from figuring out why it's too expensive. Why? What do you use? Pond's. How much is that? $6. A jar every 2 months. Clearly, she's not the right person. We want people who would say, in fact, what happens many times when we've gotten to the higher end women who really are into their face and facials and they go to the Golden Door and all that, they don't complain about $85 a month. You know what they say? They use products like La Mer, which is $2,400 per jar. They say, what's wrong with it? It sounds too cheap. Isn't that amazing? So marketing is about values and tastes that other people have. And if you have fixed something for yourself, you want to be able to put that out there. Now, in markets, skincare, exercise, weight, there are high-end and low-end markets. Like you can get skin cream with Pond's is $6. La Mer is at the top, $2,400 per jar. That's the way it is. High end, low end. You have environmentally friendly stuff. You have organic stuff, certified organic stuff. You have drug-free stuff. So the people for whom a specific product line is not intended will give you objections. Who goes to buy a Range Rover? People who like higher end cars and like Range Rovers. Some of you might go, well, I'd never buy that, or I'd never buy a Bugatti. Well, it wasn't for you. And so when you market in such a way that you, if you're one of those, doesn't even see the marketing because you're never going to buy it anyway. You're just noise. So to get your own silver tongue, you draw out all the objections, which means that you make a note of everybody who says no and ask why, of course, because they're not the ones that are for your product line, right? And then you reword and reposition it so that you can silver tongue those who are perfect matches for your market. Think about Elon and his electric car, his Tesla. They also have General Motors. Some people buy General Motors electric cars. Some people buy Ford electric cars. Does everybody buy Elon's? No. But he has enough to, to have a huge business in Tesla, as you know, okay? And that's how we enroll an average of 8 to 10 people in all our programs. High ticket, low ticket, network marketing programs, all of them. That's how we do that. Okay, so imagine using your silver tongue strategy so the right people go me and ask to see what you have. Does that make sense? All right, let me hear before we close out on a scale of 1 to 10. Who wants to learn to speak and message with a silver tongue by figuring out and making a list of those objections so you see who not to market to? On a scale of 1 to 10, who's a 1 and who's an, oh my gosh, yes, I want. Who wants? Let me see. What number are you? A 10. Good. Any other 10s? Because once you learn this, you're in a whole different class. You're just in a whole different class. You never beg again. We don't beg anybody for jack. It's just, you got to be kidding, right? You want a business, a big fat bank account with big fat impact and people loving to buy the products, not because you did some personal relationship thing, but because the product helps them lose weight or feel better or get rid of aches and pains without drugs. You know that we buy for ourselves, not because they like you, All right. So those are the 4 steps. Remember the little recap? I know you want to see again. Sorry for the long screen, right? Okay. At the top, lead the conversation, online or off, with a specific problem that your product has helped you with. That's how it begins. There are ways to do that. 7 or 8 different ways. Describe the scary consequences. Number 2. Number 3, describe the special sauce or the difference in this particular one that you've got, right? So you can do it without this or without having to do that. Use the silver tongue secret to help them develop and refine, to help you develop and refine your special dog whistle, because that's kind of what you have. Whistle, a certain whistle, certain frequency. Only those people hear it. Only those people come. And that's all you talk to when it's time to present. And then you give them a quick way to say me. Okay. That's really what we're doing here. So this is the key, that you must learn to position yourself first, you, so that people who are looking to fix a problem that you have fixed for yourself come directly to you. So you learn how to put yourself out there so others immediately see you as a revered advisor who has already solved the problem they're looking to have fixed because you did it for yourself. You see that? That's where your confidence comes. You fixed it for you. And we can always say, they'll say, well, it's going to work for me. Well, I don't know if it's going to work for you or not. But what if it does? What if it works for you the way it did for me? That's always the attitude. And then you feel confident that you have a clear path to hundreds and even thousands of customers that you can help with the same problem you had. I mean, wouldn't that make a difference in how you feel about your business? All right. And again, big list of stuff. So you're not going to feel like you're begging and chasing. You end the usual rejection because you only talk to people who came to you because you are their doctor. Fix my heart. Doctor, fix my weight. Fix my skin. Fix my hair. Fix this, fix that, because you fix it for yourself. Okay. And now you know why most people cannot make network marketing work as a business, the answer to the problems that you're having about not enough people coming into your business, nobody's saying yes, you can't talk to them, don't know what to say, you can't find them, is because it is not about talking to more people. It's talking to fewer people. But you see, you have to position yourself as Dr. Fix My Heart for whatever it is that you're doing. So those looking for that run into you, you're the speed bump, they stop and go, oh, let me see what you have. How many people get that? Me say yes or no. Yep. Who get that? All right, good. So do you see how you can build a giant cash flowing business network? Because someone was seeking a fix and you were positioned right there in their line of sight and they had to slow down. Who's got that? Say yes. That's how we built 6 companies to the top over 29 years, online, offline, on the phone, doesn't make any difference. And we run an established high ticket coaching program. Okay. 5,000 to 15,000 per. That's what we do. So let me ask you, are you happy you came? Can you see yourself applying the stuff that I've given you here? And most of all, can you see how talking to more people is never the answer? It's never the answer because you don't know anything about them. Nothing. So do you want to position yourself so folks looking for your problem fix see you first and come to you first? Is that what you want to do? Okay. So you have 2 choices. We know, I think most of us know that an hour class is probably not going to change your life. It's an hour and 20 minutes. We're going to end right here. So for those of you that know that you want to build like this and see if you can hit that number, the extra 2,500 a month by December of this year, you know, do you want to see if you can figure it out on your own, which you can do and try and see how well has that worked over the years, right? Trying it on your own. I have always fought with that. Should I hire this coach or should I try and do it on my own? And if you see that there's something that you want, I'm going to tell you one thing that people really don't think about at all, but I'm a big learning person, you know, and one of the things about humans and learning is that there's a giant gap between what you understand and what you can actually do. So you might come on this tennis court and a tennis teacher will give you the beautiful backhand form, the shot, the posture, and they do it and you think, I got it, that looks perfect. And you get there and you try to hit a backhand and the whole tennis racket flies right out of your hand. So you saw it, you go, yep, I got it. I see it. I'm going to do that. And you get up there and you can barely even stand correctly on the tennis court. How many people say yes versus no? Or you take a foreign language class and you're going to France and you've got your little stuff and you're all there. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, okay, so here's what we do. We're going to France. So go ahead and ask them you hear, you know, comment ça va? Oh, bien, bien, bien. Now it's time for you to say, and you go, comme, oui, and you can't say Jack. Why? Because what you understand and can process and do respond, like you can't produce right away. It's like for any of you who've had children, they'll go around saying, me want, he don't, for sometimes several years. And you don't talk like that. You don't say he don't. You don't say me want. But they're still processing so they can understand way more than they can actually produce correctly. The same with reading. Your comprehension vocabulary is much bigger than what you can sorry, big storm out here, what you can produce. Do y'all see that? And so this happens with learning like this, learning to talk market language, to communicate. It's very special language. So I'll do stuff and you go, oh, I got it. And then you try it. And what you did is really say, me want. And the person goes, what's wrong with you? Right. And you don't get a response. And you say, well, I did it. Well, no, not really, but you thought you did it. Does everybody understand that? That it's called the comprehension production gap. It applies to almost all learning. We understand a lot more than we can actually do, from tennis to foreign languages. So that may take you a little while. Okay. So I wanted to ask you, we have a small class, a mini course that I'm going to offer that we're testing to teach you how to do this. How many want to see what that is? It's a mini class, and I'll show it to you here in the next minute or so. Tell me if you want to see it, and then I'll show it to you. Yeah, this is not one of these big $15,000 deals. I have wanted to offer this for a long time because the psychology of humans, once you get over yourself, don't even think about yourself. Think about the problem you solved. How many people are out there in this world who have that and who would prefer your solution? You see. And I'm going to show you how to find those people and bring them to you until you totally have it so down. You'd never think of talking to anybody again, unless you knew that they had the problem that you just solved for yourself. Income or product problem. Okay, doesn't make any difference. Let me show you this. Okay. Remember, this is a mini class, a little wiener, little tiny one, 3 weeks. I'll teach you how to do this in 3 weeks. So what is it? What's in it? Okay, here we go. Why am I doing this? Well, I thought I would test this so that we can be accountable. I can be accountable to empowering you to do these things that I showed you right here. And you're accountable to me in this class to learn it and practice it and do it and not whine about the fact that it's going to take you quite a few times to do it. You know, Malcolm Gladwell said it'd take you 10,000 hours to be pretty good at something. I'm here to tell you that if you learn to do reaching out like 70 or 80 times with all the stuff that we're going to get back from that, you will learn how to do this, what I showed you right here. That's it. Okay. And then support, going at it alone is the worst way possible, particularly if you hang out with current people in your business who all do just talk to people, tell them how great the product is. Okay. And then encouragement. I've been where you are. That's why. So it's good to have people, no matter what you do, you cannot look any dumber, that whether you think so or not, or any more stupid than we looked when we were doing it. And even now, compared to other people, it's like, I just have to practice a lot more to get more chances to figure out how to do it better. Okay. So success takes time. You have to do the thing again and again and get better and better. Remember, like playing tennis, you have to practice that backhand quite a few times before you get to the place where you're pretty good at it. Nothing much happens with superficial commitment. You know, I just heard this today from Jay Abraham. How many people understand this? Nothing much happens with superficial commitment. How many people agree? Superficial commitment is not going to do it for you. My class is only 3 weeks, but for some of you, if you do it right, we can make it last a little longer so we can get with you to that finish line where you're making some money by December. Okay. It's a series of group coaching sessions. All the classes are full of good tips, and let me show you what's in them. Okay. Week 1. The specific problem. You're going to develop 1 to 3 before and afters based, before I was like this, before I was blind, now I can see, before I was lame, now I can walk, before I was yucky do, and now I'm not yucky do anymore. Right? Remember that process based on what your product or service did for you. Then week 2, we're going to show you how to pull out the scary consequences and the special sauce for each story that you're going to tell. Remember, we had those 2 things. And then week 3, you're going to have number 4, the silver tongue, developing and testing your messaging. So you have a dog whistle that only calls the people who have the problem that you know how to solve in the specific way that you have it. Okay, that's what we're doing. So that people seeking a fix for that, you are their speed bump. Don't you want to be the speed bump for those people? You tell me, yes or no. It's like, oh my God. Okay. So how much? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. It's not the 15K. And I know that some of you have bought programs like this for $19.97. And so we thought, $9.97 would be a fair price. If we can change the trajectory of your business and who you are as a human and how you position what you can do for other people who have a problem that they're looking to have fixed, that would be pretty cool deal, especially if you make $2,500 even between now and the end of the year. But then we thought, let's make it less. Let's make it even less than this so that people who really want to change and want to build your business with this philosophy and this way of doing it, we're going to give it to you for $495. You want the link to see what it is? We have a couple of bonuses too. Go here and see All right, so no class is any good without its bonuses. So when you go here, you should see this page here. The class starts July 17th. That gives us time to, I just moved to Florida, to the Atlantic coast, and I'm just getting our stuff together here. And it'll help us get it to more people. I mean, there's some bonuses I would like you to know about that I think will help you as you're doing this. Extra bonuses that are on the house. And there's one at the very end for those of you that are really truly ambitious and you know you're going to want to kick some some butt here and do this, do your marketing work in this with this philosophy. Okay. It is first the bonuses for this program. We have something called a program called End of Rejection. And I think it's like 6 modules or so. And it shows you how Henry Ford, John Rockefeller, some very interesting personal stories about those people that have never been told to anybody that I'm aware of. And I've never seen them except when I dug them up looking for these people. And the things that you learn about why both Henry Ford and John Rockefeller thought that they were somehow chosen to do this type of work, what they did. When you feel like you were chosen, that this is your calling, somehow you don't even know where it came from, you do things that nobody else would do. And they call you lunatic, they call you crazy, they call you nutcake, but they called Jesus that. They called Elon that. They called Steve Jobs that. They called Gandhi that. They called Martha Graham that. They called everybody who ever did anything that changed the world crazy and lunatics and nuts and like that. And those of us that dare to do something anyway, to try anyway, just keep quiet and try it anyway. Those are the people that this work is for, that we want to work with. We want to work with people like you who dare anyway, Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So second bonus is the sales letter. It's called a $3,750 sales letter. This sales letter was paid for by an affiliate of mine. We have a program that shows you how to run meetings from home. Oh my gosh, we have such fun with running events from home, bringing people. And we created this event and we thought we were going to have like 30 people. And it turned out we had 110 people register for this event at somebody's home. And we had so many people that wouldn't fit. So we split it into 2 sessions, 55 in the morning and 55 in the afternoon. I mean, people thought that some dignitary were visiting this house. And so we made a video of how we did that. And the sales letter that went out to show people how to do a home meeting like that, they paid us $3,750 for the person who wrote it. And it generated $137,000 in sales in 10 days for that program that we have. Okay, so that sales letter is what you have. The third bonus is Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers gave a 6-minute speech in front of the Senate in 1962, I think. And he got $20 million. It is, if you don't cry, you don't have any emotions. It's the most incredible 6 minutes I've ever seen, except maybe for Steve Jobs when he had his marketing talk, which was also 6 minutes. But Mr. Rogers got $20 million from the Senate for that 6-minute speech. He used no jargon, no big words, no technobabble, no threats, nothing about the children will be annihilated, none of that. He read the Senator Pastori a little story about what a little kid had said and done. And the senator, he could hardly contain himself. It's stories, just exactly like we've been talking about. When you tell those and touch a heart and you know your product works, why? Because it worked for you. You have nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. Ever. Then the book, If My Product's So Great, How Come I Can't Sell It? Okay. And then what we're going to do for 10 people, this is after today, for the next 10 people that are in, we're going to offer a 3-week action plan outline. Like, what should you do every single day? what your hour a day, hour and a half a day, you need to know what to do. And you're probably not going to know exactly what to do. And we're going to make such an action plan for you. And then for 10 of you, the next 10 of you that come into the program, I will give you feedback on your 3-week action plan. So that in case you messed it up, we're going to adjust it so that every day that you take action, because the actions are going to be very similar, but always getting better, always being refined, because you iterate, you do it again, you test it again. Just like Elon, think you're Elon Musk, you want to send a rocket to Mars and the first 4 blow up. Well, you can cry and go, oh my God. Or you can say each time, all right, well, what went wrong with this one? And then it blows up again, but it blew up in a different way. So now we're going to fix this. The third time it didn't blow up until it was lifted off and came back. So Elon said, well, at least we know we got it ignition, we got it off the ground, we did that. And then it just didn't come back properly. So they focused there where the problem was. And the fourth time it went up and they have never had a crash since. Never. Don't you want this? Okay. So that's really what we're doing. So we're going to give you that feedback. And it's only for the next 10 people that are in. Why? Because there's only so much time we have, right, to do that. You all get an action plan. But we like people who, if you're doing this, you want to do this, that's your incentive. If you want this, get it sooner rather than later, because we start July 17th. All right, so that is what we've got for you. How's that? You guys like that? Yeah, right. Yeah, really. But well, the offer is good. The next 10 people, the offer is good. Now you can sign up anytime. The sooner the better, obviously, because we're going to limit it to 100 people. But if you want that special action plan where we give you feedback on it, then you want to be in the next 10 people. So that's what I would do. Make sure that you're in the next 10 people. No, there's no cost at all. Everything's on the house. None. The whole thing is $495. Why? We're looking for ambitious people who want to change who they are in the marketplace. You don't want to be one of these people selling one of these things where you're just a product pusher. You want to be a problem solver and a specific one. That's what you want to do. All right, cool. All right, any questions? Does the order page open for everybody? Did you still need that link? I have to take more action if I want to succeed. Yeah, well, hop into this class and maybe we'll get you going a little bit faster than you're going right now. If you're ready, Marvin, Martin, we always like people that do stuff, you know that. It's also how you take action, If you don't like what you're doing, you won't do it. If you're afraid, like a lot of people say, oh, I'm so hesitant to call people. One of the things in this program that we're going to show you is how to call a warm market, people that know your name, and position yourself as somebody who is taking a survey, looking for people who have 3 kids in their family, or looking for people who, have aches and pains and are trying to get off daily drugs. And until somebody says, yeah, that's me, you don't say a thing about what you're doing or why you're calling. You see how that works? Double their buying power to beat inflation. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You're going to have to, give, so what's an example of how you've saved money? Tell me something you've saved money on. Give me an example. Kurt, you say, I help people double their buying power to beat inflation. I don't even know what that means. Are you handing out money or what? Yes. See, so you also have to, what is the problem that they're having? People who buy your product, what's the problem that they're having that made them buy it? What did you say? Huggy 63? Tell me in a sentence. I help people who have this problem. Their problem is, what's the problem? What are words that they have used? And Marvin, if you want to tell me who you help, And I'm just curious, for how many of you does it, how many of you resonate with this approach that we're doing here? Yeah, you see, Kurt, you signed up for this class, right? Yeah, because you need to be able to specify what is the problem that a person has. All right. You can see how tricky this is. All of you look at the conversation that I'm having with our friend Kurt. I say, what's the problem people have? And it's Huggies 63 or 21, 100% cash back. What's the problem people have that you can solve? You see, you're telling me about what you have, the thing. Remember, we're going to say, what's the problem? I got aches and pains every day. I got on meds. I wanted to get off. I'm looking for something that helps with the pain, but I don't want to do meds. So what is it that you are, what's the problem you're helping with? Right? It's tricky. Right? Yeah, we'll teach you in the class how to do it. I just want you all to see this and you can see how it works. Okay, well, we're good to go. I don't see any other questions. And congratulations to those of you that are coming into the program. We're delighted, completely delighted to have you, of course. Any last questions? Yeah, I need to look at the presentation. Rising high cost of things they buy. Right. Yeah, these are very general things in which you need. It's kind of like saying gas is expensive, but that doesn't mean they're going to do anything about it. So you want to position your thing, whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah, that's why you're in the program. Good. You're in this program, right, Kurt? This one here, that the 3 weeks, learn new network marketing in 3 weeks. Yep. Okay, cool. All right, good. Well, if there are no other questions, we'll call it a day. Thank you very much for coming. Great, great, great. All right, you guys. You have the link to the program, so if you want in, you know what to do. All right, talk to you soon. Thanks.